I've broken down on set twice because that emotion was just too strong for me, and I had like a literally physical reflex action of just breaking down, lying on the fields and crying. So yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. We actually got that prosthetic stomach made for me 25 days before the film. Okay. And I wore it all day. I slept in it. I went to the loo in it. I did everything in it. People who came to my house to visit me at that time actually thought I was pregnant because they saw me like that and they were like, "Ye kab hua?"
Hey guys, my name is Zinia and you're watching Desimartini. Today we have with us none other than Nushrratt Bharuccha, who's all set with her upcoming horror film Chhorii. Well, I won't give any intro. The teaser itself has given us high hopes, and congratulations, Nushrratt, on Chhorii.
Hi Zinia. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked the teaser.
Man, I mean, it had such a different look, and we have seen you mostly in glamorous roles. Well, of course,
Of course.
yeah, but in the anthology, we saw you in a different mode. But we didn't expect that we'll be getting this surprise again so soon.
I'm glad I didn't plan it. I shot the anthology in 2019. I shot Chhorii in 2020. I mean, I didn't know there was going to be a pandemic and we'd not be shooting anything else in the middle for that long. But universe, yeah, it works in mysterious ways. Things just happen, they fall in place. And this is happening the way it's happening. So I'm right here.
Yeah, and you have done a horror film before, but this one looks like a completely different kind of. It's more like a psychological horror also that we see. I mean, the tone, the setting, everything was so different. So, did you get psyched out somewhere while shooting this film?
This film, honestly, is a very difficult film to do. It's a very physically and mentally challenging film because after a point, I think I mean, you can't take away from the fact that she's 8 months pregnant. So that in itself plays a large part in her psyche, in her emotions, in her physical trauma as well. So it's a lot of layers. It's not just one girl lost in the fields and is trying to escape something. No, it's a lot of emotion and a lot of things that are happening to her as well. So I think when I heard it, one thing that my director told me time and over is that, listen, it's going to drain you out. This film is not going to be easy. I hope you're prepared mentally for it. I hope you're willing to go that extra mile with it and put yourself right in the fire of things, because it will take the life out of you. And it actually did. I've broken down on set twice because that emotion was just too strong for me, and I had like a literally physical reflex action of just breaking down, lying on the fields and crying. So yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. Very tough.
I mean, when you had done Dirt at the mall, during an interview during that time, you had said how much, horror film requires you, because most of the things are just setting, they are just prop and you have to react. So it requires a lot of acting. And given the fact that Chhorii has you as an 8-month pregnant woman, like you said, you broke down. I'm pretty sure that you also had to kind of like keep yourself aloof while preparing for this film to get into that zone of where your character is. So could you tell us a little about the prep that you did for the film?
Yeah, I will tell you about the prep, but I'm just going to go back to that one line you said. That you're right. If you are doing a normal film, your emotions and what a character wants to say comes out in the form of dialogues. Then you add emotion to the dialogues, and then the audience kind of feels that. That's what you're making them feel, because you're talking your feelings out. But in a film like a horror film, you can't always speak. It's not like what I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to have a voiceover talking to audiences. So the one thing that in terms of emotion that needs to communicate to the audience is what I'm feeling. And what I'm feeling has to come here in bold letters so that it gets through to you in one single medium of vision, because I don't have any audio now to support me to communicate that expression. You get what I'm saying? So which is why a film which has reactions, whether it's horror, thriller, suspense, where you are completely on an actor's face or that, because the other things are just settings. What you're feeling in that setting is what you need to communicate. So it gets more difficult and it gets more, I think your skill set goes up as an actor. You've got to use everything you've learned over the years and put it into that film for you to achieve the result. So that's that one point, which is, you're right, it is tough to do. Prep for the film. Yeah, we actually got that prosthetic stomach made for me 25 days before the film.
Okay.
And I wore it all day. I slept in it. I went to the loo in it. I did everything in it. People who came to my house to visit me at that time actually thought I was pregnant because they saw me like that and they were like, "Ye kab hua?" And I mean, it was shocking to see their expressions. But yeah, so I tried to do that physically as much as I could, so I could understand what difficulties something externally protruding out of your body and which is heavy does to your body. Like what really you need to do to kind of carry that. How does your body language change? How do you sit? How do you lie down? Your breathing changes. Your breath is shallow. You can't take deep breaths because all of this is in the way. It's just stuck here, and you're like, how do I breathe? So that, and of course, emotionally, I would never know. I don't know what it is to be a mother, right, or to have a child inside you living. So all I did was spoke to mothers who've friends of mine who've been mothers who've had children. Spoke to my own mother. I kind of took from their experiences and their what they went through, and I put things together bit by bit and put that back into the film as Sakshi. Yeah.
Wow. The way you are talking about Chhorii, this makes us so much more excited because, like you said, that you had to put a lot for the film. And even though the teaser is like just a few seconds or just a minute long, a lot did come out, which is why we are even more excited about it. It's releasing on November 26th, and that's also a day where that's a weekend where many other films are also releasing. Do you kind of have any, I won't say disappointment, but did you want this film to go on release on theaters, given its horror and that setting of a theater would add more to the horror factor?
I think over the last 2 years, we've created those settings in our own houses. So I'm sure the setting won't be that much of a problem. But I feel like as an actor, this entire pandemic is a situation none of us could have imagined. We didn't know what to do with it, and we didn't know how to come out of it. And a situation like that for an industry where theaters were shut. So everything we made could not be released anywhere. How would audiences see it? How would the industry function? How would the economics of this industry function? It just came to a standstill. At a time like that, to have an OTT platform existing where we could put our work out there and people could sort of have work to go to and things to do is an absolute blessing. I don't know how else to see it and say it. So no, I'm not at all feeling like it should have come in a theater. I'm happy that it's coming on an OTT platform. I'm happy that it's reaching people in their houses, and more people are going to be able to access it the way they have been through the pandemic. So I'm very happy that it's coming out on an OTT platform, and it's going to reach the audiences it's intended to reach. So yeah.
Okay. Also, this is one of the film where it's like a strong female character. Also, it's a female-led film where we don't see a lot of male characters. You also have a few upcoming films like Janhit Mein Jari, where you would be shouldering the entire film. Does this kind of feel intimidating at a point, because you have to take the burden of everything? It works, so you would be given a heads up, and everybody is going to say, like, Chhorii's teaser has already created ripples. So we are thinking, oh my God, we haven't seen Nushrratt like this before. Where was she? So long. But if there's a failure, there are always chances of failure. If there's a failure, that's also going to come to you. So does that baggage kind of weigh you down when you sign a film?
No, because I don't believe it's my shoulder alone that's carrying the film. I don't think it's my burden alone. It's equally the directors, it's equally the producers, it's equally the writers, it's equally the DOPs, the makers, the distributors, the marketing team, everybody involved in the process. I have never taken credit for a film, and I never can take full credit for a film. If it does well, it's equally all of our jobs that have done well, and success and credit goes to all of us. If it's a failure, it's a cumulative, shared burden and failure. I've never been able to think like that, which is why it doesn't pressurize me. It does not burden me or does not put me down at all. मैंने तो सिर्फ एक्टिंग की है यार, लिखी किसी और नहीं है, डायरेक्ट किसी और ने की है, शूट किसी और ने की है, एडिट किसी और ने की है. You can't take away those aspects of filmmaking. It's a machine, and we are all just parts, various parts that are well oiled to kind of make that work. तो वो एक पार्ट चलता रहेगा तो थोड़ा ना कुछ आगे बढ़ेगा, वो नहीं हो सकता है. तो मुझे स्ट्रेस नहीं है. बस I mean, I think when you take a film on like this, you need to trust the team and the team needs to trust you. That's when you know that the product you've made is of a sound quality and a good product. Then whether that's accepted or rejected by audiences, it's in none of our hands. हम बेस्ट पिक्चर भी बना दे, आपको नहीं पसंद आएगी, वो फ्लॉप हो जाएगी, क्या करोगे? जाने भी तो यारो, नहीं चली थी, अंदाज अपना अपना नहीं चली थी, क्या करोगे? आज आप बैठ के सालों बाद उनके मीम्स, स्टोरीज, सिचुएशंस, किस्से सुनाते रहते हो, वो रिपीट मोड पे देख के हंसते हो, बट तब फ्लॉप हुई थी ना. तो उसका कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं है, उसका कोई तोड़ नहीं है. मतलब मैं तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं जानती हूँ कि what makes a film work and what doesn't make a film work. So how can I be burdened and like pressured about something I don't know only? It's pointless. So yeah.
That's very well said. Nushrratt, thank you so much for joining. Before we let you go, I would like to ask a last question. You said that this was very emotionally straining as well, and in another film while shooting, you had fallen sick. So what's going on?
I don't know, yeah. I have since July been falling sick one after the other. I really don't know what's going on, but something or the other keeps happening. My neck cranks, I fell, I hurt my back, then I sprained my leg. I had a catch in the back when I was rehearsing for Sayanji. I don't know why, suddenly. Then I had vertigo. Then on this Janhit Mein Jari set, I sprained my leg. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. But having all of that and all of those setbacks, I've still been working and shooting because these are commitments of films that I've taken prior to COVID or during COVID, and now they're all on floors at the same time. So there's one thing I can't do. I can't let somebody's money waste or get wasted because of me. I get very conscious. I'm like, भाई मेरी वजह से एक घंटे का भी किसी को नुकसान हुआ प्रोडक्शन में या किसी को भी, तो मैं बहुत स्ट्रेस हो जाती हूँ. So I'm like, नहीं. So I sprained my leg, but the next morning I was standing on one leg and shooting.
Oh my God.
I said, नहीं, आप शूट नहीं कैंसिल करो, मैं एक पैर पे खड़े होकर काम करती हूँ. मेरे को साइड से 2 एडी पकड़ रहे हैं ऐसे कि मैम एक पैर पे बैलेंस कर रही है और शॉट दे रही है, और कोई तरीका नहीं आता मुझे काम करने का. तो ठीक है, चल रहा है. It's happening.
That hard work shows, because you have been in the industry for such a long time. You had started with TV, with Kitty Party, and here you are, even after a decade, and you are just growing. And we have seen you grow so much with Chhorii. It was like a revelation. So, of course, I believe all that hard work, all that commitment that you have for films are paying off. Congratulations once again, Nushrratt, for Chhorii. It looks amazing, and we really want to see it. We are waiting for November 26th for this one. And thank you so much for joining with Desimartini. It was a delight talking to you.